Good morning, dear children. Welcome back. In today's session, we are going to discuss Class 5, Term 3, Unit 3 in Social Science, Educational Rights. This is part 2 of the video series. Come children, let us learn. Dear children, before going into today's session, let us have a recap of what we learned in the last one. We discussed about education and its importance. We learned that education is important for people as well as the nation. It is the first step for the child's development. Education improves knowledge, skills, values, and quality of one's life. It also helps in the overall development of a country. We also learned about the importance of education. It does not mean one should be literate. It is more than literacy. Education helps to analyze the reason, build skills to live, know what is right and wrong, and lead a moral life. Education broadens one's mind. It removes superstitious beliefs and increases awareness of surroundings, social and political issues. In this session, we will discuss about the educational right. Now, what is the meaning of educational right? The right of a child to have education. That is the meaning of educational right. Dear children, every child in our country has a right to have free and compulsory education. You should be having free education as well as the education is compulsory. So, it does not mean you have a choice of not going to the school. You are to go to the school. The Right to Education Act or RTE, Right to Education Act, specifies different responsibilities to local authorities and government to ensure free and compulsory education. The RTE specifies the responsibilities of local authorities. There are people who are locally responsible, and the government, they have to make sure that the children gets free education as well as compulsory education. The Right to Education Act or in 2009 describes the importance of free and compulsory education for children between 6 to 14 years of age. The Right to Education Act makes sure the free and compulsory education of children between the age group 6 to 14. So you have RTE, Right to Education Act. It specifies the responsibilities to local authorities and government plus free and compulsory education for children between 6 to 14 years of age. Education should be affordable to common people. Affordable, A-F-F-O-R-D-A-B-L-E, affordable. Affordable means the common man, the normal person should be able to pay the fees. It should be able to afford it. He must be able to afford the education for his children. There should not be any discrimination. There should not be any discrimination in education. Education should be free and it should be without any discrimination. It must be, it should be based on the need of the child and mold the child's thought. It should be according to the need of the child, what the child is needing. According to that only education should be there, and it should be able to mold or bring out the good thoughts in children, to frame or to form the thoughts in children. The child should be at the center of an education system. The child should not be working. He should not be the breadwinner of the family, but he must be at the center of an education system. He must be the center. Children, the legislative section is divided into 3 lists: union list, state list, and concurrent list. There are 3 sections or 3 lists for the legislature. They are the union list, state list, and concurrent list. And education comes under the concurrent list. Dear children, our legislature has got 3 lists. Which are they? They are the union list, state list, and concurrent list. Union list makes the parliamentary laws. Okay? And state list takes care of the state. And the concurrent list It includes the powers to be considered by both the union and the state government, and education is coming under the concurrent list. Children, in the picture you can see the various list: union list, state list and concurrent list. Union list consists of subjects of national importance that it can only make laws, defense, banking, currency, foreign affairs and communication. Whereas say state list consists of subjects of local and state importance. The state government alone will make the laws. Police, trade, commerce, agriculture and irrigation comes under that. Concurrent means subjects of common interest to both central and state. Both central and state can frame the laws. Education, forest, trade, union, marriage, adoption and succession are all coming under concurrent list. Now we will learn about the important features of RTE, Right to Education. Dear children, until the completion of elementary education, no student is stopped from school. You are having right for compulsory education at the elementary level. 25% reservation is given to the economically underprivileged people in all private schools. That is, if 100 children are studying in a school, 25 of that seats is given to economically underprivileged, that is, people who are not very rich, who are coming from a poor family. And it aims in the improvement in the quality of education. And school infrastructure should be improved every 3 years. The infrastructure, that is, the materials of the school should be improved in every 3 years. Finances will be shared between the state and the central government. The expenses bad will be both by the central and the state government. So what are the important features of RTE? The first one is children will have compulsory elementary education, and in schools 25% of the seats will be given to people who are poor or economically underprivileged people in all the private schools. Even in our school we follow the policy, and you can find children are admitted on the basis of RTE as well as for Ambedkar scholars. Improvement, it improves in the quality of education, as well as the infrastructure of the school also should be improved once in every 3 years, and whatever the finances are required will be shared by the central government as well as by the state government. Dear children, now let us learn about the National Education Policy, or NEP. In the year 2019, the Government of India has framed the National Education Policy to promote education among the people of India. So, a National Education Policy is being implemented, is being framed. It has not been put into effect, but it is being framed in the year 2019. And the National Policy of Education, or the National Education Policy, covers the educational systems from primary level to college level. It covers the educational system from the primary to the collegiate level. See children, the first National Education Policy was implemented in the year 1968. When was the first National Education Policy implemented? So, in 1968, the first education policy was implemented, and the second one was followed in 1986, and the latest one is 2019. My dear children, child labor, a pathetic condition where the children are made to work instead of going to school. Child labor is not allowed in our country. It is not allowed, it is a punishable offense. All children are entitled to have free and compulsory education. Children should be given the right for education. They are having free education as well as it is compulsory. It is a must that they should go to school. Now, a small activity for you. Yes, it is very easy. Solve the puzzles. I'll read the hints. I am white when I am dirty and black when I am clean. Who am I? Second one, I am tall when I am young and I am short when I am old. Who am I? Third one, I am wet when I am drying. Who am I? Question number 4, I have a neck but not head. All these things you are seeing in your school, you are finding it in your school, and you can write the answers in the book. Page number 140. That's all for today's session, my dear children. Before winding up the session, let us have a recap of what we learned here. We learned about the educational rights and its benefits. We learned that every child has a right to have free and compulsory education, and the Right to Education Act (RTE) specifies the responsibilities to local authorities and government to ensure free and compulsory education. You know, children, the first educational policy, National Education Policy, was implemented in 1968 and it was followed by the second one in 1986. The latest one is in 2019 and it covers the educational systems from primary to college levels. In the legislative section, you have three different lists: the union list, state list and concurrent list, and education comes under the concurrent list. Dear children, in the next session, we will discuss about the various educational schemes. Now it is time for worksheet number 2. Question number 1. Dash describes the importance of free and compulsory education for children. Dash describes the importance of free and compulsory education for children. Roman number 2. Answer the following. Write a short note on educational rights. Write a short note on educational right. Yes, children, with that we wind up today's session. Thank you for watching. For more videos, subscribe our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Samcheer Kalvi Guide. Thank you. Stay blessed.